What's going on, y'all? Fabian Speaks, man. We are back with a video. Kind of want to just kind of talk to the people about, you know, the Super Bowl was this past Sunday, man. And obviously, before the performance, before the Super Bowl halftime show, a lot of people had big issue with the fact that Bad Bunny, a Puerto Rican artist, was actually doing a halftime show. Although he's American. You know what I'm saying? But in saying that, the aftermath of the show seems like even more ruckus, more rah-rah. And it doesn't really fully make sense to me, like people's response, right? I understand the standpoint, but at the same time, I think what this really showed is just the ignorance of people. It just really showed the division that there still is and always has been in America. It just really showed people's true colors, man. Was the Super Bowl my halftime show my thing? Not necessarily, but like, what is my thing? I don't really care that much for the Super Bowl. I think it's just a stage for, community, friends, family to get together. And it's funny how like a sports event has become something that's like basically a national holiday, so to speak. People calling out work the next day, like because it's that serious. It's just a game. The game in itself was okay. The halftime show was okay, but I think everything involving the Super Bowl has always been mid for the past several years. If not, nobody really cares. You know what I'm saying? There's certain people who care, but I've never been the type that put my life on the line for a sport. And when I say that, like, drop everything for a sport. You got people who in all these fantasy leagues. You got people who, they're missing work because of a game. They got so blitzed. They got so lit. They need to take the day off because we're going in, baby. Super Bowl party. Just never been. It's just a societal norm at this point. And I think it's just another part of brainwashing control, right? It's just ducks in a row. Ducks in a row. But anyways, the point I was trying to make was, it's just crazy to see. I believe even President Trump had tweeted something that's saying that the halftime show was despicable. You see a lot of people that got on X, made these little posts, these little tweets or whatever about, trash, garbage. Turning Point USA was even having a halftime show simultaneously just because they wanted to revolt that bad. It's just clown activity to me. It's clown world activity. Because how can you say that that's not American when Puerto Rico is U.S. territory, right? It makes no sense to me. Just because he's speaking Spanish, people have a problem with that. If that's your issue, you should literally remove, Americans should, vote to remove Puerto Rico as a U.S. territory. You can't sit here and call it a U.S. territory. It even emphasizes that they're, Spanish speaking, but, a heavily Christian society, descending in very varying degrees from indigenous Taino natives, right? So that's American to the T. Just because they speak Spanish doesn't mean that you're not qualified as an American. And this was the conversation from a while ago. But to get to the real overview, right? Puerto Rico is an unincorporated territory, meaning its residents are U.S. citizens, but it's not a state and has limited political representation, lacking voting rights in presidential elections and full voting members in Congress. And its relationship with the U.S. is complex, ongoing debate about its political future. So maybe that's the undertone, right? Maybe that's why the president was like, just from a political standpoint, it doesn't really seem like holistically opposing ends are on good soil, so to speak, right? So, but my thing is, the whole point I made this video is just to see like the ignorance, the pure ridiculousness of the state of Americans and just people in general today. People are just dumb. You know what I'm saying? Who cares? If you're offended, and I saw people posting videos on social media about going to bars, going to sports establishments, sports bars, and people changed the actual Super Bowl Sunday halftime show to the Turning Point USA halftime show. People saying, this is our halftime, this is our halftime. People just want to encourage segregation. People just want to encourage separation, division as much as possible. It's been an ongoing trend within the past few years, right? We see racial tension being heightened and everything going on with ICE. It's just crazy to me how people are encouraging more division. Whereas that's not really what people so want to say that the USA is all about. You have people who are so patriotic, conservatives, essentially talking about this is the land to where X, Y, and Z is possible, the American dream. But when foreigners come here and do it the legal way, you're still, throwing shade their way. So, like, the American dream isn't something that I believe true patriots, so to speak, really stand on. Because you're going to catch flack for being a foreigner. Like, oh, you weren't born here. And even when you're born here and you're of a different skin color, you're hated on. So it's just contradiction after contradiction. My opinion is that people need to care less about things that aren't really that detrimental. Like a person performing for a 25, 30-minute segment, and probably won't even that, 15, 20-minute segment, shouldn't rub you the wrong way to where you cause a whole revolt. And it's us against them, and and Puerto Rico's still U.S. territory. He qualified as an American. Bad Bunny's literally American. He American, bro. He's an American. So, I don't know. I think that a lot of the immigration, a lot of, the conflict with ICE, a lot of the deportation, a lot of stuff like that is bleeding over into other topics and conversations that people shouldn't allow it to. Because, like, let's keep it honest. Let's keep it a bean. Like, people just really want to move the goalpost. That's really what it is. That's really what it is. Let me know y'all's thoughts on this in the comment section below. Like, the Super Bowl is dead and done. It's over with, and people are still talking about it. Who cares? That's why I like to stay off social media, because I'm tired of seeing people's posts. Like, nobody really cares about your opinion. Nobody cares about how you felt about it. Nobody cares about you egging on more conflict and just more division amongst the people, man. It should be more about unity nowadays, but I'm not surprised, right? As we're leading towards the end days of things that, the word talks about, things of prophetic nature, right? We know that things are going to get worse before they get better. It's like hate is at an all-time high. Hate is at a whole different altitude nowadays. And it's everybody for themselves. People are more selfish, more greedy than ever before. But that's not really the ethics and morals and the foundation that America was built on. Being a Christian country, what does that really mean, right? In terms of y'all aren't reflecting that, the values of Christ. Like, and I'm not even, like, the people who got the wrong things to say about things without even using common sense. Like, maybe if he was from Barbados, yeah, like maybe if he was from Colombia, if he was from Ecuador, if he was Brazilian, yeah, I see your point. You know what I mean? But just based off all the facts, all the factors that we have, there's no reason people should be mad just because he sang in Spanish. And even then, Lady Gaga hop on stage, there's a little bit of English that y'all got. I don't even recall what she was singing, but I think she was singing in English. You got your dosage of English. Who cares? Like I said, if it's that big of a problem, y'all might as well just disqualify Puerto Rico as a whole, and not include them as a U.S. territory if they're making y'all that mad. Because what does that say about Puerto Rico? Like, why, what's the point? About that being an American territory. Like, at the end of the day, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? So comment down below, let me know y'all's thoughts. I just think that it's childish, man. It's childish to see that the talking points, the conversations, just like what's rubbing people the wrong way are things that are very minuscule and things that like grown adults shouldn't be worried about. Like we're bickering like children at this point. And everybody has to have a say-so on social media. And comment down below. Peace, love, prosperity. God bless, man. More unity, less division, more peace, less hate. Peace, love, prosperity. God bless y'all, man. We'll see y'all in the next video.